Aloha guys, I'm live. You're watching GR Live TV. About to build up a little audience here, see people tuning in soon enough. The theme of my show is regarding love and freedom. I'm going to touch briefly on the concept of freedom and then I'll proceed to discuss the idea of love. That's gonna be my main creating supreme. Yeah, so I'm over here in Waikiki doing a nice walk and gonna be focusing on the idea of love and how there are misunderstandings and imprecise definitions of it. Yeah, supreme. I like to have a sense of privacy and also general eye protection wherever I go. And you know, so I wear clear glasses and a hat. Kind of like the Muslim men or people will wear something to give you some privacy. I think it's useful to do. All right. So anyway, yeah, I've already concluded my thanks and discussions regarding Mr. G, and and I'll say this: the discussion of today is all about love, right? And as far as I'm concerned, that's good news, Mr. Bill. Like I said, I gave him the $70 that I paid for supplies, and the average person, the amount of work I did, they would have charged between $200 and $300 to do what I did. So I also gave him that as a gift. So I'd be surprised if I to hear more from you of not being appreciative, but that's your prerogative. You have a right to expression. In any case, the fucking irony of people saying that, I mean, some people understand that I'm inclined to, disassociate with Mr. G, but some people are like, oh, you should, you owe him, or, keep doing IRL with him. And the reality is that I do not, okay? I don't approve of what he's doing. Greetings, 30. I don't approve of what he's doing because, and today's content will be more technical, informative. It won't be really socialization. It'll just be me engaging in dialogue. But I think you'll find my presentation satisfying. I usually prepare throughout the day. I contemplate the subject matter and how I'm going to present it. And like I said, today's we're going to be focusing on a little bit, touching on freedom briefly, but mainly love. But I will say this: I think that I have more concern for Mr. G than he does himself, and all of his viewers, anyone who's watching him, all of his streams. Like Miss Nessa says she cares about him, etc., etc. But these people are watching him destroy himself. And when you focus on somebody when they're doing something, then you're giving them approval, right? And so, for example, Miss Nessa, who seems to be like his fan and care about him. If she really cared about him, she'd be like, Mr. G, I'm not going to be involved in your streams anymore if you're just doing this alcohol to entertain people. The people that are doing that, they don't care about him. They don't care about his body. They don't care about the fact that if you're using drugs and alcohol, it interferes with your virility, your ability to have a satisfying, meaningful, and physical relationship with your future spouse. Hey, Billy, aloha, and Bill. I'm starting to really enjoy this IRL. It being like at first it was unfamiliar. Really, it's something that, it's a new thing. But I used to be feeling indifferent to it, like, oh, it was sort of effortful to do. But now it's become a second nature. It's like I'll turn on the camera, I'll talk about what I think is important to me, and all in the direction of towards love and away from fear, and with the expectation that I'll be able to inspire some people, and maybe they can offer me some input too, if they, or quote unquote, check me if they think I'm going in the wrong direction. That's the cool thing about the audience. So as we were, love and freedom. Okay. And by the way, Mr. G does have he has his prerogative to pursue what he wants, and I wouldn't infringe upon that. I don't think I'm better than him. I just think I'm different, and I feel like my goals, and even my goals for him, like I really feel like I care about him more than he cares about himself. But in any case, right on, Bill. Looks like you're still cranking it out, still, you know, trying to leverage, trying to max out. At least you're good at it. I like to be around people that are passionate what they do, even if they're trying to bemuse me. So, as I was, the whole idea. Actually, it's getting dark here. Why don't I turn my light on so that way we have a little. In fact, I'm gonna go along the promenade here where it's lit, and it's just a nice oceanside walkway here on the far end of Waikiki. Yeah, as you may be aware, Mr. Bill, I sleep in various locations outside, and I, I enjoy it. In order to avoid mosquitoes, I might wrap myself in something, put a mosquito net on my head so I can breathe comfortably, and just enjoy the outdoors. And there are benefits to being outdoors. You certainly won't. A woman wouldn't want to be with you, but in a way that's a good thing, because a woman, like, even if I had lots of cash coming in and I can afford to live, or someone offered me a place to live, I think I'd be inclined to live outside. Greetings, Miss Dion, or Mr. I'm assuming you're maybe you're a guy, I don't know. But as I was, here we are. We're fucking oceanside. In fact, I have a high-powered flashlight. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy a little of the ocean here. Watch this here. You can see it there. Pretty nice, yeah? I'm not sure how that would affect you, Billy. I really enjoy being out here. I fucking am far as fuck away from Wi-Fi and distracting people. And, But in any case, like I was, today I wanted to make a focal point on freedom, just a touch, and then love. So freedom, if you live in a free society, it's not free. It has a cost. And even though I believe that there's the military-industrial complex, and the military's, to varying degrees, it's compromised. In fact, I want to do something cool for you guys here. Watch this. Okay. We're gonna go. Yeah, I have, as you guys know, I have my storage unit. I'm gonna hop up on this little light guard stand here, and you get a little view of the ocean. How's that sound, guys? Greetings, Nix. Yeah, we're streaming live, Oceanfront Waikiki. Check it out. Just showed you guys on a lifeguard stand. Pretty cool, yeah? Crank up the light here so you can all see. The nice ocean water breaking peacefully, serene. Crank up the... Pretty cool, yeah? So, in any case, like I was saying, guys, I was touching on this idea that freedom's not free. There are degrees of corruption in the military. For example, the Taliban, they destroy poppy fields, heroin poppy fields. They disapprove of hard drug use, and they want. So, it really makes you question. Is the CIA trying to introduce drugs into the, into the country because part of them are racist and they don't like black people? It goes on and on. And how deep is the rabbit hole? How deep is the mystery, the conspiracy, the hate, the darkness, the destruction? Whoa, did you see that? Wow. A wave just slammed nicely against, I want to try and get that again, guys. That's pretty cool stuff. Greetings, Miss Lynn. Yeah, the rabbit. You get the rabbit. The wave just slammed hard against this. So I want to see if I can capture that again, yeah? Yeah, we should be able to get another nice slam soon enough. But in any case, let's see. When the U.S. invaded heroin production, went U.S. in the Middle East. Please sharpen up your grammatical sentence structure if you could, buddy. Yeah, it's a cool... Yeah, there's usually a beach there, but yeah, it is a little high. In any case, guys, yeah, don't worry, Nick. Thank you. Thanks for the alert. So in any case, like I was saying, there are Bill trying to, again, however you call it, he's trying to, he's trying to push buttons here. But yeah, let me be focused here. So I'm going to do a little discussion, a little light work, and just call it an evening. Should be a half an hour long discussion. Aloha, Alan. All right, so guys, like I was, freedom is not free. It's however you want to describe it. It's taking effort to get to this point in humanity. So to say that, we can do whatever we want, be lazy, other people take care of our needs, that's really not recognizing the reality that it's not free and it's a precious thing. That being said, and so thank you for the people who are in the armed forces and had the intention to protect that freedom, although they may not have done enough research. They may not have looked into it, like maybe, as far as I know, perhaps, what was I, anything could be possible. We don't know, but what we do know is to always choose in the direction of love or fear. And the idea of love, okay, has to do with concepts. The word I prefer to use as a substitute is actually commitment. Commitment, or how you relate to someone, and commitment to yourself as well. You should be committed to yourself and your dreams. And the paradox therein in love is that if you really care about someone, you wouldn't want to seduce them with your money or body. For example, if you cared about a prostitute, you wouldn't actually want to, give them money, or even for free, you wouldn't want to be intimate with them because you respect them. And so that's the kind of paradox, because it is your energy, right? Why would you want to give somebody else your energy, right? And like for example, okay, people have this skepticism about marriage. But isn't marriage ideal? Like, even if you don't think it's possible, the dream idea I have, wouldn't you prefer that? And based upon that premise, maybe it's worth looking into why things work or don't work. And in due time, Bill. But at the moment, I'm kind of on my spiritual journey. I may, end up writing a book and being an ebook online, and be having some financial success from that, or from DJing. But whatever it is, it's my intent to just have a nice effect on the world, and be good, be loving, be able to say at the end of the day, I feel good about what I did. It doesn't matter, maybe I may or may not have children, may or may not uh, actually meet a spouse or wife, but I loved myself, and I loved people. And when you are in that level of the heart chakra, when you're not expecting anything from others, but unconditionally giving, because you've already taken care of your obligations, you've taken care of your basic needs, your desires, and your wants. You've taken care of them. So guess what you can do? You can truly give, not because of obligation, not because you feel like, this person, you owe someone, but because you're like, okay, I'd like, this is something I'd like to do. And when you have a limited overhead cost of living, uh, like me, you can really devote time to this, like do IRL. You can devote time. Greetings, Shoshan. You can devote time to do what you want, okay? And what that translates to is you can either do random hobbies, like whatever, cars, technology, games, sports, or whatever, which is fun and is, can be positive, or you can do something more specific and actually concentrate on global betterment. It's a privilege to do that. What I do, I'd say, is something that requires the luxuries of time and just a place to think and contemplate, and come up with ideas to improve culture, to refine psychology and self motivation, self improvement, self control, you know. And so love is closely related to commitment. But commitment requires you to have to make time to ask yourself, what do you want? What do you like? And the only way to do that is if you have knowledge and some experience of observing the world. Greetings, TLC. You have to have some experience, or at least vicariously see how other people have experienced, in order to. We're in a nice pinewood area, quiet and serene here. Oh man, cool. It's just fun commentary. We got BG. Let's see. Wow, Shoshan, that's funny. Conwell, I'll elaborate onto that soon. Nice work, Dad. Yeah, just imagine my silhouette, my aura, just beaming brilliantly. Imagine somebody around me, like beaming, a laser beam of light goes through me, activates me, charges, protects me. Force field of sphere around me, just beam, just go like this, like a wand, and just imagine, around you, Um, before you start doing light work on other people, you always want to condition the space around you. And like I always say, the first thing you want to do is your bed. Yeah, yeah, that's an idea, Shoshan. It's an idea, but it might, like I think it's in a way it's easy to, I mean, okay, it's an idea. Thank you. All right. In any case, yeah, like I was saying, from light work to love to knowledge, somebody might want to be loving towards another, but how can you do it if you don't have the knowledge to, for example, give people space if they're upset? Don't try to force them to be happy. If you're upset, don't try to don't be around people. When people are upset, they'll do mean things, even if they're nice people in general. You know. So in order to experience love and really that's the fourth chakra, unconditional love. In order to experience that, you've got to activate the first three. You've got to meet your basic needs. You've got to satisfy your desires with obviously masturbatory activation. And this isn't on an everyday basis. And you've got to exercise and dance and engage in, artistic activities and self-empowering thinking that activates the third chakra, your sense of self-respect, not needing others to be nice to you, approve of you, apologize to you, forgive you. And all of that has to do with the external realm, you know? Oh, really, Bill? Yeah, no, yeah, that's my general breakdown on the chakras, Conwell. Yeah, I'm just, today it's a more intellectual, I'd say, discussion, and in due time, I hope to be doing some rapping, and when my work schedule slows down, I'll do some DJing outside, and thanks, Mr. Max. Uh, I'll do some rapping, when I'll pull up an instrumental when I'm DJing. But in any case, guys, let's see. Yeah, Bill, it's only fun to rap if you have a beat. Otherwise, it sounds more like poetry, and I'm very, like, one of the things about an artist is they want to present things right. Like, the right clothing, the right look, the right stage, the right lighting, the right sound, the right volume, all of that, okay? When you really get into art, you want to have all the right elements in play. And admittedly, sometimes you have to improvise or be creative or use whatever you have at your disposal to paint, to create. But it's nice to really know how you want to show yourself. Uh, that's funny, Doze. I don't see the usefulness of that or purpose. I think there's this concept that you want to retain your sexual energy or whatever. For me, self-love, self-intimacy is about being able to masturbate, or if you're with your wife or spouse, be with them. Good one, Dab. uh, and enjoy, that orgasm activation. That's the equivalent of something to look forward to instead of drugs and alcohol and such. And if you look carefully, you will notice that the second chakra is even more important than the third chakra. First chakra is your basic needs. Second chakra is sexual activation. All right. Good one, Mr. Bill. Yeah, if you look closely at the Bible, you'll see some red flags. You'll see that it doesn't promote masturbation, which is a critical juncture to self-control, so that you're not Um, you're not going to be controlled by your desires. I was talking about freedom earlier. You want to be free from your desires. I want to show you guys something cool. I'm going to show you guys something real fast. Watch this. All right, so we got a whole bunch of palm trees here, right? Very nice. Very nice. Peaceful park. After hours evening in Honolulu, Hawaii. But, like I was saying, Nick's good one. Oh, wow. Wow, Bill Boss, you really max out, don't you? You're really maxing out. Let me see here. I'm trying to just technical difficulties here. But thanks for bearing with me, guys. And yeah, so so love, right? Love is about knowing what you want. Like, for example, why would somebody, or why would they not uh, go to just meet up with somebody randomly for physical intimacies? First of all, it's gross. You know, it's unsanitary, I would say, and potentially, you know, STDs, whatever. But second of all, you're giving your energy, you're wasting that precious time you need to get one day closer to your spouse. You need that. You need to work and refine yourself and prepare yourself for your spouse, if that's what you want. Um, at the end of your life, you want to build up your life such that it's going to be better and better as life gets, well, more as you go through the stages of life. And fuck, maybe people won't, with all the dieting and science, medicine innovations, maybe we'll live forever at a certain point. Maybe everyone born, you know, around the year 2000 and beyond will fucking live forever. But the point is, it doesn't even matter if you live forever, because eventually, even if you live for 5,000 years, you might get into an accident, whatever. The point being is that we're all fucking consciousness, dude. Like, when you feel concerned about, oh, you might be bad people, might kill you, bad aliens, whatever. Fucking everything is consciousness. That's us. We are those bad aliens or whatever. And maybe in their mind they're not bad. Maybe they just want, maybe they don't like humanity and the way that we're misbehaving, and they're worried we'll do like a nuclear war or launch nuclear weapons into space or whatever, and they just want to neutralize us so that the end of the humanity ends, and then that our consciousness can go into another consciousness. Like, that's the same rationale as, say, killing everybody in some type of random tribe in the Amazon, because we wouldn't want to fucking incarnate into some fucking tribe, third world living circumstances, See what I mean? But the point being, guys, is that maybe they're doing well in this tribe, but fuck, maybe they're not doing well. Maybe they're, like, for me, I define doing well as having work opportunity, being a nice life, and being able to engage in some recreational activity, because machines are making your food and taking care of a lot of stuff, so people don't have to work as much. People can have more enjoyment, more physical intimacy with their spouse, etc. But the fucking point here, okay, is that it's all relative. Like a bug might have, a bug feels pain, has a nervous system, but we want to kill bugs because they might have diseases, and they're just unwelcome parties to our living space. And an alien might see us as being the same thing. Admittedly, we're different than animals because we are self-aware, conscious beings, but on the same token, they can feel pain and suffering too. But But anyway, getting back to this idea of love, okay? Love sometimes has to do with familiarity. If you look at the instances in which people are, they're like in bad situations, or they are, however you say, suffering, or they gravitate towards like S&M, or an unhappy or a mean husband or whatever, and it's just because they're programmed familiarity that means love, that means you care for someone, that means, but it's really just, that's on the far spectrum of things. Generally though, love is about, like I was saying in my definition, it's about being committed to yourself, and you know doing something voluntarily, and not because you need somebody else to satisfy your sexual desires or meet your basic needs, or even make you feel good, make you feel empowered. That's the third chakra. No, the fourth is because it's you truly want them because of who they actually are and what they actually want. And the way you can discern about what a person is, you ask them what if they had money, lots of money, or if they had whatever, health, whatever, what would they then do? You know, like you might think, for example, an old poor person on the street, you feel bad for them, but if they had money, they might try to just hire a prostitute instead of, and there's a whole nother realm of things, like the dynamic between prostitutes and their clientele. Like maybe nobody else would give them money, you know. So and feminists will argue that it's all the primarily men, the men's fault for hiring the woman. But hey, I think it's just as much the woman for seducing the man with her body. And there are gray areas, obviously, but I mean, this whole idea of love and freedom, it can get complex, the definitions of it. But the bottom line here is that I'm going to conclude here. I'm going to say that love is everyone's in one chakra at any given time, and you have to be aware of what chakra you're in. Sometimes you have to work long hours, or you choose to, because you want things or need things. Okay. Sometimes you're aroused sexually, so you should masturbate in order to control that desire. Not because the desire's inherently bad, but because it can lead you to do things you otherwise wouldn't do if you were in a different mindset, or the heart space, your heart space. And then the third chakra too. If somebody's in the third chakra, they might do some dangerous activities to get attention, or be mean to get attention, be egocentric, instead of activating it on their own by doing exercise or meditation to calm them down, and not hope that other people will make them feel good, or be nice to them, or pay attention to them by having fancy, stuff. That all puts your power in other people's hands when you hope that they'll pay attention to you. You know. So love is a science. It's not an emotion. It's something that you see how people feel good and do things together, and that makes them experience the energy and emotion of love. But it has to be planned and coordinated, and scientifically understood, like, will, and processed out, like, if I'm with this person, will we have a good life? Just because we like each other physically, and we're both friendly, does that really mean that we'll be able to always care about each other? Maybe not. Maybe you'll end up hoping that you can change each other, and wanting to for maybe even force each other um, to, and maybe you think that, oh, you'll be able to satisfy each other sexually and help each other meet your basic needs, and then you'll eventually like each other for other things. But the truth is, people have their their preferences, and people have things that they like to do. They really absolutely, and that's one thing when you're loving yourself and wanting to know, hey, who would I be compatible with? You have to do definitives. Like for me, for example, it has no pets. I don't want pets. I want to focus all my time with physical intimacy with my wife. I don't want any pets involved. Also, she would have to be vegan. She would have to like a wide variety of music. Certain things that are absolutes. You have to you yourself. You have to discern. You have to be aware of what your absolutes are. That's a good place to start. And that's love. That's the power of saying yes to what you want and saying no to what you don't want. And also consequentially people, saying yes to people and saying no to other people. You only have space and time for so much. You might think that, oh, I just hang out with my friends after work, my coworkers, but the reality is you only have certain time during the week to do stuff, and that only a certain amount of people can fill in that spaces or be with you. And you want to make sure you're spending time with yourself too, of course. That's something maybe I do a little too much, I think, but I'm learning to balance my life out and be around people that I respect. Um, but really, at the end of the day, love is unique. Like what you like to do, what you love, it's different for everyone. But it'll be very similar for you and your spouse. That's the thing, your dream mate. And maybe your dream team will be people who, may not be completely like you, but they'll have some core values consistent with yours. Like, for example, my dream team will be people who are they'll be vegan. Uh, they'll be marriage oriented, like not wanting to have any intimacy, physical intimacy or verbal intimacy until marriage. Um, and what else? You've got to be tough sometimes. You've got to be powerful and not let your desires control you and not let other people control you. You've got to be not aggressive sometimes, but just aggressively seeking space and avoiding people sometimes. So love, it's self-respect, saying no, as needed. I think I said a lot there, but like I said earlier, if you approach someone and your desires start influencing you, you just have to realize that you care about that person. Like sometimes a person doesn't even care about themselves, and they just want to give you their soul, or their emotions, their physical when okay, a person's soul is related to higher intensity emotions like feelings of joy and pleasure. When you are around someone and you get really too happy or joyful, that it can expose your soul in a way. I don't know if you understand what I mean, guys. Hey, regular. I'm Hi there, NIG. Uh, uh, well, Nix, do you really think that someone would that it's an intellectual pursuit to be an escort? I mean, is that really ideal? Like, would somebody really want to do that, or would they rather learn to do something else and make some money? To each his own. But seven chakras, but I only usually focus on the four. Let's see. Uh, that's an interesting idea. Tribe living. those. Let's see. And yeah, I wasn't saying vegan. Hey, Fallacious. I wasn't saying vegan um, because I'm trying to promote veganism specifically, although I do that sometimes. But I'm just saying it as an example for me. Like, you have to know what you really want. Maybe you have certain religious preferences, certain lifestyle interests. You have to really be clear on what you want and don't want in your life. Uh, and yeah, Bill, I've already explained that. It's when I used to have low self-esteem, and also I was in a poor and physical and also mentally. I was a little mentally disturbed, and so that's why I pursued prostitutional related activities. But the truth is, many people engage in prostitutional activities where they're just having intimacy because they're physically attracted to each other, but they don't care for or respect each other as individuals, as people. That's the reason people drink alcohol, is to avoid that powerful reality that is unavoidable. As far as being vulnerable and trusting people, I think it's, how far is that going to get you? I think that's a bad idea. That's the equivalent of being too friendly and nice and joyful in public, and then when you're in that mood of good mood, your defenses are down and someone can strike you. So you've got to be selective about the environments in which you do things. Yeah, Bill, I was just, my spirit was disturbed. See, the reason I came up with this whole theory of I don't describe anyone as my parents because I want to be my own final authority. And I might want to be friends with my legal biological relative persons, someone I previously referred to as mother and father, for example. But I might want to be friends with them, but not label them or call them mother and father as the role, because I want to be my own person. And I think in society, sometimes people, sometimes they call it love, but parents calling people kids and and teaching them to follow them, instead of being discerning and figuring things out for them. They're just teaching them to be submissive and to follow what adults and other people have to say, and that's going to lead you down a path of destruction. Instead they should teach them to discern who's you should talk to and not talk to. Not just don't talk to any strangers. Some strangers would be good, and you can discern how people are by their body language, by their, you know, how they present themselves, whether they look rich and credible. Not rich in the sense of being rich, but just being like not needy, not like they want to take something from you. So you should look at people's body language and etc. etc. But uh like I was saying, Bill, the I used to hate myself and hate men and hate women, and so that's why I engaged in questionable activities with my personal and physical intimate relationships. I didn't like myself and I didn't like other people, so I seduced people with my body, and vice versa. I allowed them to seduce me, and it was just an ugly thing. But the reason I did that was because I hated myself, and the reason I hated myself was because I labeled people as my authority. And the way the mind works, I've observed, the conscious and subconscious mind, is that if you label somebody else your authority, you don't like that authority, you will want to destroy yourself and others, because in your mind, it's kind of hard to explain exactly the psychology behind that, but you see what I mean. It's like if you, and thank you, regular. If you think and you're focused on somebody else being your authority, this this principle is more so captured in scenes in movies where a guy is like refusing to call somebody his king. And you might want to, it might be better to do that once, call somebody king, and then instead of being killed, and then later maybe kill the king. But to label somebody your king, your father, your mother, your grandfather, your uncle on an everyday basis, and even if you don't see them, to think of them in your mental construct as if they're there, as if they're authorities, it will influence yourself and your life. It'll make you, for example, want to go to a school or a university or do something they want you to do more than what you want to do. Make you resistant to perhaps pursuing your dreams because you want to impress them, because in your mind, in your mental construct, they're the highest authority. So the first thing you got to do is fucking place yourself on the top echelon. You got to be on the fucking top shelf. You understand me? You got to be at the penthouse. You got to be looking over your domain, never labeling anyone else as your authority. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good question. Greetings, Edge. It's a good question, regular. I think that getting a hand job from somebody, a masseuse, a female masseuse, is cool. I think that's okay. But maybe if I would want to wear a blindfold when uh, or maybe, see, here's the thing. If you care about marriage and respect people and want them to have a nice life and want them to be married, you're not going to want to seduce them. And that's why I think strippers, I'd prefer if they're happily married, so there's no sexual tension. Like, I might want to be more than just watching them perform artsy, sexy dance, erotic dancing, but rather I respect them. Same goes with getting a hand job, which is kind of a different sex act because you can wash your hands after the hand job. It's kind of a different than, say, other forms of intimacy. And or maybe there can be maybe some exceptions, like maybe finding some older single person who, they're kind of too old to really get married again, but it gets all convoluted there. I think it's best to just keep it simple and clean. Occasionally, if you want to and can afford a hand job, maybe go for it. But only from somebody who's married, only from a woman who's married, or a man if you're a woman and you want a hand job from a man who's married, because then you'll all respect each other and it'll just be clean act like that. Let's see. Thanks, Fallacious. Alright, so yeah, that's love. That's my idea of love. I'm gonna do a little light work and then I'm gonna conclude for the evening. But welcome any of your commentary and audience participation. That puts you on the same page as me. That puts you in a place where you're thinking about what I'm talking about, but also the format is you can write your and make a comment, and I can think about what you're saying too. So it's a nice for me. It's an enjoyable routine. Edge. That's just one of the elements that I believe is a loving and clean act, is a wholesome act, as opposed to getting a hand job from somebody who's not married, and you might, in the back of their mind, there might be some sexual tension or possibilities where you might want to do more, and you don't want that to happen, So let's just do some light work for a second here. In Mr. G's thoughts of Mr. G, imagine him smiling joyfully. Remember, like I said in the beginning of this video, it's not loving, I think, to encourage or watch his videos of him drinking. If you care about him, you respect his liver, you respect his body, then you wouldn't promote that. You might offer him some money if you care about him. But I think most of the people participating in that stream, it's not about love. It's all about destruction, and it may be funny, like people may laugh when they see it, but it's in life, things should be a win-win situation. It should be where he's benefiting and the audience and the people watching and commenting are also having a good time. But if it's only one-sided, then that's not a win-win situation. That's not love. All right, it's contrived. It's untrue. It's ugly. It's heartless. It's not. There's no soul. Right on, Trumpy. Mr. Edge, after hearing everything I'm sharing, I'm surprised you still believe I'm under the influence of any drugs. I think I'm talking with a high degree of thought formation, with attention to detail and focus, that you just categorizing me with people who are using drugs. I don't think I think is disproportionate with reality. In any case, I'm going to conclude. I'm going to conclude with a little light work session, and thank you guys for joining. All right, so visualizing a brilliant white light, okay? Imagining in your hand, ironically I have a flashlight in my hand, but just imagining, an incredibly bright sphere of light that you can hold in your hand, and then throwing it at your feet is all visualization. And then your whole body gets activated by the brilliant light. Now beam with your hand like a wand, like this. Beam, okay. Immediate proximity beam right around your room, wherever you are, maybe even your computer. Blast the laser light through it, and just beam circle all the way 360 all the way around your room, and blast that light. Okay. We're not fallacious, regular. Even Edge is enjoying himself over there. Very good. Good work, Edge. And we're all going to have a fun, restful sleep. We're going to have a sleep stream, and everyone's going to just help each other get some sound rest and just really rest well. It's going to be very satisfactory. But most importantly, we we want to blast our beds, okay? We want to imagine a brilliant white light, laser beam just zooming through your bedroom, on your bed, and this is going to protect you from your conditioning to space, to protect you from dark spirits, evil forces wanting to, interfere with you, and possess you, possibly. It's okay. In any case, guys, I sleep in different places. It's nothing special. It just like one of the places I sleep in this area. It's a bit of a walk from here, but it's behind like a whole generator. There's a series of generators, and they actually stay warm at night, and keep me warm, so it's cool. But yeah, the best places to be are when you can get maybe behind a fence or something. But in any case, guys, we'll just continue to light work a little more. Focus on making tomorrow a wonderful magical day. Make it a synchronized day. And I've experienced that when I do a lot of light work the next day, or if I beam light later in the day, it just these everything seems to flow well, like better than I could have ever coordinated or ever planned out. And I'm not saying that I don't recommend planning. Planning helps you to avoid people who are trying to outpower you with their willpower, to take your time, to take your body, to take your money, to just take your energy. If you plan out and organize your life, you're gonna be resistant to these other people who may have, you may want something from you. All that considered. Oh yeah, I have some pillows there. Good concern, true. This is just a basic generator. I don't, transformer. I'll look into it, but I've looked into it and I don't think it's negative vibrations or that can harm me. Kind of like having a cell phone can harm you. Well, I actually I'll admit that even electrical, AC outlets, all that stuff, obviously, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Like having a Bluetooth in your ear is such a bad thing. You guys know that causes cancer, right? And just like fluoride in toothpaste, uh, that's a neurotoxin. You don't want that in your body. Uh, in any case, just being away from Wi-Fi, being outside, I find it satisfying. But I'll say this: don't take my word for it, guys. Do the fucking research. That's an idea, true. Thanks for the considerations. Good one, Edge. Actually, yeah, it's funny. Irregular, right? Transformer. Impressive, Trumpy. See, that sometimes it's easier to imagine a beam of light. Sometimes it's easier to, like, let's say you want to beam somebody. Like, let's say somebody you're upset at work at, right? First thing is to imagine them smiling, okay, and in a good mood. And then you can imagine them like grabbing a sphere, grabbing a white, a ball, putting their hand into a huge sphere of white light, like as if they're reaching their hand into some type of sacred, flowing fountain. But sometimes the easiest way to do light work is actually to imagine somebody else doing it. Like imagine somebody near you just beaming the light like a laser white light, or somebody, if you're trying to beam somebody who you're thinking about, at work or whatever, someone you're upset at or you're worried about. Maybe you can imagine somebody else beaming them. And remember, you don't want to visualize the light going through people's third eye. If you're actually curious about the details behind that, you can go to Tsukio Mahikari. Again, that's Tsukio Mahikari. That is a religious organization that I don't approve of, because they do something similar to the light work. They don't do the exact visualizations like I do, but they structure it around a whole premise of, oh, you can't do the light work unless you have some blessed little religious artifact, little trinket from the hierarchy of the organization, type of. So that's all contrived. I don't like that. I don't approve of that. Although I do like some of their work. They do the light work, but these people fucking actually cast out demons, like for real, guys. So look them up if you're curious. In any case. Thank you again for the humorous interjections, guys. Good fun. Good fun. I haven't noticed it interfering with me, although it might. But like when I put a cell phone right next to my ear, if I do, which I don't, but occasionally I have to. Like once in a while, if I need to hear a quick conversation, I can't put it on speakerphone, then my brain it'll affect my brain. I'll notice it. Hey, Mark. Greetings. Thanks for the encouragements, Edge and True. You guys are on the same page, man. You guys are alert to the realities of cults and people trying to control each other and people trying to be like the like fucking like Bill Boss. He's always trying to get at me, right? Bill Boss is talking like um I'm a cult leader. Well, I'm actually by definition against cult leadership and whatnot because I empower people to be their own authorities and do things like do their own light work, empower themselves. And what a cult leader does is acts all fucking mystical and not transparent, like acting like he's holier than thou or special, and acting like he knows more about you and what you want than you do, and that in essence you need him or her in order to have a good life. Fuck Bill. Maybe I put on a bit of an effect, a little mystery just for fun, for character on the show, but the reality being that I'm very transparent and organic in the way I do things. I'm not all, I mean, fucking look at me, dude. You know, all I'm expecting in return for people on YouTube is if they're an audience, maybe a fucking subscription or a like. I'm not even asking for anything more than that. So I think I'm totally, my actions are contrary to being a cultish. Well, a little more light work and I'm gonna wrap it up, but it's nice that you guys wanted to join in and see what's going on and do a little light work. Little, like, you might think that, it's silly visualizations. Well, have you ever actually tried it? Have you ever actually imagined somebody smiling after you walked by them and maybe offered them a social courtesy, maybe you were friendly to them and they didn't reciprocate the gesture, they didn't say hi back? If you imagine they did after the fact, if you imagine them smiling, it'll engender within your mind a physiological response of dopamine, positive. Like, you'll feel good. And that's because of the power of the mind. So control your mind. All right, make it yours. Visualize brilliant white light around you. Whenever I'm doing the light work, you should always be having your hand up like this, like a wand, and beaming in the general direction of when you're doing the light work. For example, let's do somebody else. Let's do somebody, either your dream mate, and by the way, anyone else that's not your dream mate is just interfering with you and your dream mate and your dreams, okay? And you don't need experience to fucking know how to have sex. That's so stupid. You just need to wash your wife's, to have her take a shower, clean her vagina and her asshole, and then you guys can have some fun. But all humor aside, and by the way, it takes a lot of energy to face the vagina and a woman, your wife. It takes energy. Okay. And it also takes, you have to be a little like fierce. You got to be like strong and exercised and worked, and then you charged up. You're amped up. You're ready to give her your energy. And warning, guys, that's what women do, and it's not a negative thing. It's just what it is. Women are a magnet, and they take men's energy. And if it's your dream mate, then guess what? Hey, she'll just use that energy and reinvest it into your mutually pursuing dreams together. But if she has different interests in you, then she'll use that energy for that. So all that considered, it's funny, half the time I think my show is going to be half an hour long, but it ends up being an hour. And I go back and forth in different circles, trying to expound on concepts and then try to go full circle, and if I've missed anything that I was talking about, interrupting my thoughts earlier. But this is kind of spontaneous. It's stream of consciousness. It's not really a structured conversation. It's really just me, having fun, playing around with words, kind of like freestyle rap. That's what I like about freestyle rap. Very good, Bertram. Are you serious, Trumpy? I'm fucking all here talking about I want to get married and excited about a woman and talking about do I hate women? But I can tell you that on a subconscious level, I used to hate women because I labeled a woman as my quote unquote mother when I would never want to label anyone, especially her, as an authority over me. Not saying that I don't think she tried her best to raise me, quote unquote, but I don't need somebody in my life that's trying to be an authority over me. I need me. Okay. Laura, pleasure. Thanks for your check-in. Ooh. Did I lose my edge? Mark. Right on, true. How did you end up here? Regular. Ooh. I'm not sure what you mean. How did I end up here? In what context? True Tech. In any case, guys, I'm overdue for a conclusion here. Thanks for joining me. Blast somebody who you're romantically interested in, or your wife, or husband. Blast them with brilliant light. Imagine this person smiling. Alright? And not because they're smiling because they're thinking about you, but imagine them just smiling, happy, doing whatever they're doing in their life. Okay? Not related to you. And then see, all of a sudden they see a brilliant ball of light. Another big thing about light work is you want to imagine people reacting in amazement and astonishment to the light. They're like, whoa, what is going on? Look at that brilliant light. Like, wow. Like they're seeing some type of phenomena. So we just blast, guys. Thanks, Laura. Oh, dude, badass. Nix is like, say thanks, and Regular's like, blast. Good one, Laura. The imperfections are the magnificence of life. The ego thinks that some people have more or less than others, which is not the case. When you look closely at people, whether they're driving a fancy car, living a certain lifestyle, house, you look closely at them, you see that they're you. You see that and we are intertwined. We are inextricably connected, such that some people's problems are everyone's problems. A society is only as good as its weakest or most suffering person. So people who are suffering unpleasantly, they're mentally ill or physically handicapped such that they cannot enjoy their lives or have an independent life experience, they should be humanely put down via humane execution, such that they are able to make a jump, make a boost, a clean boost into their next incarnation. Oh, really, Laura? Alright, Laura's getting a little amusement here. We're all pushing. This is some pretty hard pushing of agenda here. And I don't think, it's not my intention to fucking brainwash anyone or hypnotize them into being compelled to my positions, but at minimum to actually bring up serious subject matter to have people question, well, what I want to do, what can be done in this area of society to improve things and make them richer and more enjoyable. Laura. Yeah, Laura, what's your response? Like, okay, and ultimately, it's really what I would want. If I was mentally or physically handicapped or irretrievable, I would want to be humanely killed, or maybe even shot with a heroin overdose or something fun, so that I could experience some fun highs. And the point being a clean death, guys, a clean death. Blast some notes. Nice, True Tech. Good push, good push. What? What is that even? The scuffed boy West Coast. Is that some type of character? So yeah, you guys are just cranking it and working it. You're just kind of like galloping along in the chat here. I'm impressed. You're posting laughing comments, this, that, and the other. So yeah, soon coming up, we'll have a fun DJ stream, and I'll be sure to do some rapping for you all. Maybe humiliate. Oh, okay. He's an upcoming rapper. That's funny, regular. Yeah. Fucking good old African regular. Alright. Good one, Hedge. I'd rather uh I'd rather uh keep my privacy. Uh let's see. Good one, Bill. Yeah, True Tech. Wow, you guys are pushing hard, man. Let's see. Yeah, Miss Laura. Whatever. As long as we planned the stream out and did subject matter specific content, that would be fine. You know. Let's see. In any case, guys, concluding here. Remember, do some light work as needed. If anyone in your life that's upset, imagine them smiling and beam them with light. And you're not doing it for their benefit, although they might benefit because of the power of the mind. But good one, Edge. Fucking Bill's like all pushing hard. He's like, fucking Bill, you anonymous motherfucker. Post your fucking real identity if you want. It'd be so funny if Bill is somebody that I actually know. I'm not sure you mean, Laura. You don't live in Hawaii, right? Lighting hit the transformer in front of my house, and I saw a brilliant orb. Wow, that's interesting. True. I think it's a healthy paranoia edge. I'm in a dark place, although it's generally serene. There could be a ne'er-do-weller here, there, or the other. Oh, it's actually convenient for you to come to Hawaii. It's interesting, Laura. Yeah, I mean, just keep me posted if you're gonna visit here. Obviously, I can't offer you much as a friend, but at minimum, we could do a stream together, talk. You could share some of your perspectives. I'm assuming that you want to talk about similar subject matter that I do, in which case, fine. We could talk about life, politics, relationships, and such. Good one, regular. Yeah. In any case, yeah, guys, thanks for joining me. Fuck it, I know what I'm gonna do right now. Anyone who has at least the confidence to at least post their real profile Good one, Bill. Anyone like regular and like Laura and who actually post their real persona, their picture of themselves, I'm gonna do light work on you guys right now. So I'm imagining regular and his friendly African beanness, and I'm just seeing him smiling and doing a double. Um, it's like a double skip, like skip twice on one side and then twice on the other instead of a. Trumpy's trying to justify his fucking existence. Fucking Trumpy. Good work, guys. Good work. But yeah, blasting regular, blasting my friend Laura. Laura, looks like you're, I see you having a good laugh and just preoccupying yourself with other various activities throughout the day. Just smiling and, spinning, uh, uh, spinning at a 0 degree radius, like, what, zero, zero, spinning upon yourself just joyfully. Fucking Bill. Oh yeah, what type of Bentleys, Bill? What type of Bentleys, asshole? Because I'm familiar with cars, so I'll know if you're telling the truth or not. Oh, dude. God, man. If I could somehow get some music going, which no, I don't think I can do. Because I would rap. I would rap. You guys are just providing so much fucking content. Oh, bad. You actually have a Bentley Continental. Yeah, it's a cool car. You know. Uh, Congratulations. I don't know if your wealth was self-made. I'm suspecting it probably was. If all that is, and even if you don't have any of these things, I don't care. All I care is you're participating in my endeavors uh, to provide an interesting space. This is kind of, obviously it's my channel, and other people come to join and see. What's uh whatever it is, guys. Let's just. Oh, that's cool, Bill. That's cool. I hope you're making the most of your opportunities. Yeah, Trumpy, it's an idea. Well said, true. Hey, regular. What did Lynn say? Oh, here's Lynn. Yeah, guys, really, it's not about what ownership. It's about responsibility. Like, if you're responsible for expensive, costly things, then it's gonna be a burden. It could be not a burden if you can really afford it and maybe have some fun with it. But just make sure that the most simple and important things in life, they're free. Things like love and doing things you want with people who you actually like, who you don't have to change and pretend that you know. In any case, guys, thanks for joining me. Encouraging all to do light work as needed throughout the day. You can just do a quick perimeter beam people around you when you're walking on the street. It's the perfect activity to do if you feel bored, if you're in line waiting and want to occupy your, instead of thinking about negative things, because the default, the ego thinks about negative stuff, right? It thinks about, problems throughout the day. What am I going to do? Thinking people are negative, unhappy, whatever. Instead, flip it into a positive. All right. And it's the funnest thing to do, beaming, is get at a higher position, like on top of a building, and beam people. Imagine them smiling. Just beam all over. You can beam particular events, like maybe if you see somebody performing, you can beam the audience, or a sporting event, or other events, or even at fucking Walmart. Beam all the food, supercharge all the food in pure white light. We are the fucking unified field, but it's not. you have to actively participate in life in order to make it rich. You know what I mean? You can't. Uh, Whew. I better get out of here, guys. Get some rest. Thank you, Doze. Good one, Bill. Hey, Tech. Yeah, it's the conclusion of the show. Looks like you may have checked in a little late here, but you're welcome to review it. I discussed various ideas regarding love, and I expounded upon that. Freaking regular, dude. You guys are bad. Uh, that's funny. True Tech. But yeah, it's practical. Built-in roll cage. Okay. Let's see. Alright, guys. Again, pleasure. Bill, I guess you do want to remain anonymous to protect whatever it is that you are. If you do have opportunities or work related, I don't know what that is. I do know that I'm a little curious about you. You like to comment and kind of challenge people to be uh, to be like you challenge me to be at 100%. Making sure I'm if I have to apologize or say thank you, you interject. Oh, that's funny. You need a maid. Alright, what Alright. Well, I'm pretty happy with my current life, and I don't know whether you're being sincere or making a humor. Whatever it is, take care, guys. Thanks for all the all the chatting. Very nice. Aloha.